Republican Congressman Rich McCormick, who's also a doctor. All right, and he representative from Georgia. He's on that subcommittee. He was one of the people asking questions today. And Dr. Robert Redfield, friend of show, ran the CDC, of course, in the beginning of the pandemic. And I use him as a kind of a hard stop on policies and what we need to do because he knows. Gentlemen, thank you. And again, Congressman, you know, it's not like we went to school together or anything like that, but I believe that you are acting in good faith and you want to get answers. I don't think they're going to let you do it in this forum. There's just too much pressure to play. What's your take?
Well, if you look at the questions that I focused on, the things that I was really trying to gear at, if we're trying to get to the bottom of what these hearings are all about, what are the lessons learned? What I keep on saying is I just want to have an honest conversation. I do want to have a scientific conversation. I do want us to disagree and be allowed to disagree. That was my whole premise of the argument to begin with, is that you don't censor me, an ER doctor who's seeing patients, because you're the government. That's dangerous thinking, and that's what happened to me, individual. That's why I kept on pointing out, look, I had my own theories. I thought it was an honest discussion. I thought I could actually bring up some points that I disputed and I'd be listened to. Instead, they censored me, kicked me off of Facebook, kicked me off of Twitter, and actually threatened my license because I disagree with the government. That's not the way it's supposed to work. And then furthermore, I also pointed out the government should never be so powerful that they set medical policies. This should be about you and your physician. Once the government sets, hey, this blanket rule is going to apply to everybody, or that they're going to eliminate your ability to travel or to be educated or to run a business, that's huge overreach by a government. And I never want to see any excuse by a government to spend $6 trillion or to ruin an economy or to ruin your business, take away your livelihood. I think that's not what America was based on. Now, I get it. There's risks, and we're all scared. And I think we should have a legitimate conversation about what's good for society, but they went way too far on this, and I think the biggest takeaway for me was that government should slow down and listen to physicians, let people talk to their physicians and make some individual choices, and some of them are scary. Some of them are risky, but that's what America was based on, is that we can take some risks because we're Americans and we're in control.
I think that's all fair, and I think that the meat of it is which policies, Dr. Redfield, were right at the time, wrong at the time, and why, and what to do about it. As a macro point, you were there and you knew the people who were involved after you left. Do you believe that there was any conspiracy afoot to trash the economy or force the vaccine on people for profit of the men and women involved of running the government agencies?
No. I don't believe that.
That's it, you're done. Now they're all going to hate you too, Doc. I'll save space for you at my house. No, make your point.
No, I want to just echo what the congressman said. I think obviously he's exactly right that there was overreach. I always argued that, you know, you don't force people to do something like, let's just say, take a vaccine. Even though I'm a big advocate for the scientific value of vaccines, I think it's important for you to explain to people why you believe the vaccine's in their interest. And if they don't agree, then next time you see them, you try to make sure you can explain it again. If they have some misunderstanding, you try to correct those misunderstandings. But I do think it was a big mistake when you look at things that didn't work, was to go ahead and mandate vaccines. There obviously was a significant mistake in not giving any credibility to natural immunity from natural infection. We had, firefighters and military that had higher immunity to COVID from infection than they would get from a vaccine. But since they didn't take the vaccine, they lost their employment. Those things were overreach, and I think were big mistakes. I'm not an advocate of the shutdowns. I thought they were a mistake. I did advocate for the 15 days to slow the spread of COVID. I was in sort of the Vice President Pence camp that said it was like a sporting event. You take a knee for 15 days. During those 15 days, you figure out how you can continue those activities in a safe and responsible and effective way. It was a big mistake, I think, to go to the shutdowns of schools, shutdowns of business, shutdown of churches.
Right. I get your position. So the conversation has to be, so the conversation you got to have is, well, let's go back and get the people who made the decisions, and let's look at the basis on why they did it then, what was right, what was wrong about it, what did we learn over time? Most importantly, when did you learn it, and did you adjust when you learned it? Now, we know the answer to that last one is no, and that's one of the boogeymen that should really be getting fleshed out. We're just not doing it. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.